going with the flow. And then I'm like, there's something about being in the basement right now did not make sense, you know. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna kind of pass on this basement thing. And so I was able to kind of sidestep the crowd as they were going down, and there was a spiral staircase. So I was like, you know, I'd rather, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die on a higher floor. I'm not dying in no basement. So
Get buried in.
just flew in from LA, and I had an interview, you know, at the Trade Center, and I was running late. And the running
Mm.
late from the airport saved her life. So I do come across, and every once in a while, I'm sure in the news and things like, you come across a lot of people who, like, you know, were sick that day, you know, didn't go in. The kid had something to do in school, so they didn't go. There were like a lot of these kind of random scenarios, you know. I've never, and there's more to the story, but I've never been more, that experience made me, I've never been more proud to be a New Yorker in my entire life. So we get outside, and I finally get outside the building, passing that lobby, you know, where, you know, all that, and it was snowing. I called nuclear snow, you know. I call it nuclear snow because God knows what the hell was in it.
Mhm.
And, you know, I had a, I guess if you want to call it, enough sense about historically, and I went and grabbed a handful of it and, you know, put it in my, you know, put it in my bag as a kind of memento of my freaking experience. On the way, some storefront opened up, I guess after the guy, you know, again, we're all kind of coming out of hiding, and opened up his storefront and started handing out bottles of Poland Spring, you know. And I thought that was, so I was, you know, I obviously took one, and I took an extra one because I wanted to give to this one guy. He was standing on the corner, like in shock. So I used it immediately to wash my face and rinse out my mouth and nose and shit. So I started kind of like, you know, cleaning myself. And I went to this guy who was just literally standing there, you know, caked gray everywhere, this and that. And I'm like, come on, it's over. It's over. Come on, you know, let's have some, you know, have some water. It's for you. So I think that, you know, it got him moving again, you know, and, you know, like, he kind of came out of his, like, you know, kind of zombie stage and stuff. This is the bridge. So, you know, and now, so I know I'm heading in the right direction. You know, again, I'm gathering people left and right. People, you know, again, not everybody, but, you know, about, you know, whatever, 5 people I must have, you know, at least pointed the direction, right? If not, kind of shuck them out of their zone. Like, I got to the phone, made contact, said, "Hey, I'm alive. I have no idea how I'm getting home. You know, kiss my baby,
Mhm.
my, you know, my son for me, and I will contact you, you know, as soon as I know something else." And, you know, a little, you know, loving exchange, and then, you know, kind of go.